What's up? In this video, I want to break down how this tiny little consulting business that I run was able to make me 12 grand in profit in a little over 2 weeks. You see here in my payment processor, from the 16th till about today, a little over 2 weeks, I was able to do right here $12,600, and about 95% of that was profit. The other 5% goes to little miscellaneous things like, fees and other little things you got to deal with. And I was able to do it in about 4 hours a day. Now, some days I work a whole lot more. Some days I don't decide to work, but I would say it averages out at about 4 to 5 hours a day of really deep focused work. Like I get a lot done. But I'm going to break down exactly like what the whole thing looks like, how I got the clients, and how you could do the same thing for yourself. Okay. Now, the first thing you need to understand, just straight to the point here, is YouTube. Okay. This should say YT if you can't read it right there. YouTube. YouTube was how I did it. I was just posting 2 videos per week on YouTube, and I had the one focus, the one intention on simply solving problems for other people. Now, these problems are problems that I solved for myself first, which is going to lead me to a very big point that I'm going to get to here in a second, which is how to versus how I marketing. Completely different marketing tactics. If you're doing the wrong one, you're going to screw up big. And it's a lesson, again, that I solved for myself. It's a problem I solved for myself. So I posted on YouTube 2 videos a week. And the beautiful thing about this, if you don't know me at all, is like I'm not qualified by any means to teach people anything or be a coach or a consultant. I'm a college dropout. I'm 22 years old. But what I do have is real life world experience. I've done things and I talk about what I've done, and people pay me to do the same things I've done without the mistakes that I've went through to get to where I am faster. That makes sense. I went faster, but you get the idea. I solved problems for myself, and then I made videos showing people how they could solve those problems too. And the first offer I ever had in consulting was helping people land SMMA clients, and I still work with agency owners. I have a background running a marketing agency. That's where I first got my experience. I worked with over 60 realtors. I built an agency where I ran Facebook ads for them. I built cold outreach processes to be able to sign those clients, team of VAs, team of setters, and I've done that. So I could confidently say I've done that, and I could talk about it, and I could make videos about it so that people could get that goal faster, right? And so what I did was, I still make content talking to people. Like, this is how I grew my agency. And I had one guy, I made a video on how to land SMMA clients. Like I showed the process I followed, the outreach method. And one guy reached out and he said, hey, you solved this problem for me and I landed a client through your free content and I want to just scale faster. Like I want to literally be doing what you're doing faster. If you're from the agency space as well, the typical process goes, you first run an agency and then you become a consultant. Right? That's what everybody online does. They run an agency, they learn a skill, they do a service for people, and then they become a consultant online. They build an audience and learn that skill set as well. And so I made this video. He came to me and he's like, okay, Christian, I landed a client and I want your help. And he paid in full to join my program because I simply got him results for free. It wasn't like I had to have a 60-minute long sales call with the guy. He already knew who I am, what I'm about, what I've done, how I've helped him for free. And it was a 15 to 20 minute enrollment call where he's just like, cool, let's get started. Let's do this. And so if you want to experience something like this similar inside of your business, you have to understand how to do how I marketing. Okay. Now, what is this? What does this look like? Well, you have how to right here and you have how I. These are 2 different styles of marketing for whatever type of business you're running. And I've tried the how to and I've tried the how I, and every single day of the week, I'm choosing the right side. And I'm going to explain to you why. A lot of people do how-to marketing, and how-to is as simple as it sounds. How to do blank in your business, how to get more clients, how to get in shape, how to do whatever you want to teach and talk about. And the problem with how-to is that you're not talking from personal story and experiences, okay? In how-to marketing, people ask you, does it even work? Like people ask you, do you have any guarantees? Do you have any competitors that I could buy from instead? Because how-to marketing isn't talking from your own personal story, because your story is what sells. As I say right here, story selling. I first learned this from Russell Brunson. Stories freaking sell. Most of the times when you buy, not like when you buy a toothbrush, you don't need a story to do that. But if you're trying to sell something high ticket, you want a story attached to it because it's extremely powerful. I'm going to show you something I asked ChatGPT here in a second that like absolutely blew my mind. So just hear me out. How-to marketing is you build an offer for somebody and say, hey, I built this for you. It could solve these problems for you. How I marketing is, hey, I solved this problem for myself. Here's how you can do it too. Very different things. How to, I built this offer, I built this service because I know you're struggling with this and I know it'll help you. You have a million competitors. You're competing with everybody. How I marketing is like, hey John, I solved this problem for myself. Do you want to solve it for yourself too? Like, do you want this problem solved too? How I marketing is completely different. And when you do it right, you get people to come to you to say, hey, I want what he has. Hey, I want to copy and do the same thing he does. I want his life. I want his business. And hey, this resonates with me. This resonates with my values, my beliefs, the way I want to do things. And that's the beauty and power of how I'm marketing. And so how I'm marketing stems from story selling. And the question you need to ask yourself is, I don't know if you heard that, freaking train right by my apartment, loud as hell. But you need to ask yourself, why are you selling the thing that you're selling? Is it because you want to make money? If that's the actual core intention that you have, people will see straight through that. And you become another one of those people that everybody hates, which are the how-to marketers. If you're just in it to make money, you don't have a story behind why you're selling the thing that you're selling. And a lot of people are doing that, and they're building a business off on a foundation of a deck of cards that's just going to fall. And so you need to understand story selling. And the first instance that I understood story selling was in a one-to-one interaction. Hear me out. I had the first ever mentor I had in my business was when I was running my marketing agency, right? And this mentor helped me tremendously. I love this guy to pieces, but he told me that what he does on his sales calls is a little unconventional, you could call it. Like, he doesn't follow a normal sales process you'd learn from like Grant Cardone's of the world or those types of people. He told me, I start every single sales call by asking the prospect for permission to give them a quick 3 to 5 minute story of my life. And I found that so intriguing that that's how he started his sales calls in a one-to-one interaction. He would get these people on a call, on a sales call. He'd say, hey, is it cool with you if I share my personal story? And he would share a 3 to 5 minute story about his life and how it intertwines and relates to his offer. He talks about how he dealt with the problems in his own business or in whatever he was doing, and how he figured out a solution to it, and that's why he's now helping people like the prospect on the call with it. And I did the same exact thing. I want to give you this example. This is from my agency, because this applies, I don't care if you're an agency or a coach or a consultant. I'm going to give you both of these examples, okay? Now, in my agency, the story that I used to sell is I dealt with these problems in my mom's brokerage. I want you to understand the power behind this. This was the essence of the story I would use to sell my service to realtors. My mom was a broker, stopped during COVID, but she was a broker, and I used to come in and help her with her lead generation and that type of thing inside of her business. And I dealt with the problem of dealing with shitty leads that don't know who you are or why you're calling them or what you want. And a lot of realtors face that problem. And so I had to figure out a solution to help my mom and I get better leads. And, I developed a Facebook ad solution, and that's the story I came into the market with. And that was the thing. Like, I really need you to remember this. The thing that set me apart in that market from thousands of other agency owners, thousands of people that were trying to pitch the same exact thing I was pitching, was my story. The reason realtors bought from me was because they liked me. I was talking to one of my clients the other day, and he was asking me like why he wasn't able to sell his thing. Like, I was reviewing a sales call, and I told him there's 3 reasons, I would call it 3 things. That's what I told him. People need to believe to buy from you. You know what those are? It's very simple. 1, it's your offer. 2, it's you. 3, it's themselves. I'll break this down quickly because it's not the main point of the video, but these are the 3 things people need they need to believe these things to buy what you're selling. First, they need to believe your offer. Is your offer the thing that's actually going to get them to where they want to go? Second, they need to believe in you. Are you the person that's going to get them to where they want to go? And third, they need to believe in themselves that they're going to do the work required on their end to also get to where they want to go. And so a lot of people, they only focus on this one right here, is making the most compelling offer. But what a lot of people miss is that if you make the most compelling version of yourself, you're also going to win. And so that's why I mentioned that, because I sold myself by talking about this story to realtors. I dealt with these problems in my mom's brokerage. I solved them for us. Now I want to help you solve them. That's why people paid me, not because I had the best offer or the best marketing system or the best, sales process or whatever it might be. Another example is in my consulting business. The first offer I had was helping agency owners get more clients. And I came from a place where I would say, hey, I did it. Copy me, learn from me, do what I did. Versus saying, hey, I want money, so I want to try to help you grow your agency, which is what a lot of consultants teaching agency owners do. They don't actually run an agency, and then they end up struggling to grow their consulting business, okay? The point of this is that stories freaking sell. And the revelation, the epiphany I had was that I didn't have to tell people my story only on a sales call. I didn't have to jump on a sales call and tell them all the things I dealt with and all the problems I solved for myself before I actually got to, helping them do it. I figured out that I could sell my story in a one to infinite model, which is why I do YouTube, and it's why you need to use YouTube inside of your company. Because YouTube, it's the same thing as being on a one-to-one conversation with a prospect. And you're saying in the YouTube video, boom, this is how I solve the problem for myself first. You're telling them your story in the video because that's how you get people to show up to your sales call ready to buy. If you watch any of my content, you understand that sophisticated buyers make the buying decision before the sales call takes place. If you've bought something high ticket, you've probably decided before you booked a call that you were going to buy it because you trusted what? Their offer, them, and yourself to do the work. Boom, mind blown, okay? That's what you need to, so I understood, hey, I could do this on a one to infinite model, and I did it, and it freaking worked, and I did 12K in 2 weeks. And you want to hear something crazy? I wanted to get to the root bottom of this. I wanted to figure out why stories worked so well for me and to sell my thing versus everybody else that's just trying to sell their offer. I wanted to understand psychologically, why does this work? Let me show you something really cool. I went to ChatGPT, and if you could see this here at the top, I said, I want you to give me the psychological reasoning behind why it works so well for me to sell my service by providing a story to the prospect on how I solved the problem for myself first, and now I want to solve it for them. Look what ChatGPT told me. Storytelling in sales resonates because it taps into both emotional and rational aspects of the brain. People are more likely to trust someone who has experienced similar struggles and solved them. It builds authenticity, relatability, and it reduces the perceived risk of the offer. If you go down again to the highlighted part here, storytelling leverages cognitive biases like similarity bias, which makes it easier to connect and enhance credibility through personal narrative. So this approach cultivates trust and increases persuasive power. Come down here with me here. Sharing a personal story is a powerful way to establish credibility and trust rather than hearing a list of benefits, you telling people your offer, we're going to do this, this, and that. Rather than hearing a list of benefits, the prospect sees a relatable journey, struggles and triumphs, and that evokes a personal connection. In essence, telling your story transforms a simple sales pitch into a relatable, emotionally engaging narrative, and it shows prospects not just what you offer, but why it matters to you and to them, thus driving deeper connection and trust. That right there sums up the importance and the power of storytelling. Thank you, ChatGPT. And to add on to this, I want you to understand, when you make how I videos, this is something that nobody in the world can replicate. If I were to make a how-to video, how to grow your consulting business, I could just get that entire ChatGPT prompt, get an AI to say it out loud, and post it on YouTube. But you know why it won't work? Because people won't connect with my personal story, my personal discoveries, and uncovering this method, and figuring out how to crack YouTube and how to get clients from it. And so that's the biggest thing that I need you to understand. If you want to be able to sell more things and be able to hit a 12K in 2 weeks or whatever, You have to use your story to sell. And the reality is that most people haven't solved their own problems. And these people try to skip steps. And they try to get to, they try to get from 0 to a freaking 100 without putting in the damn work. But this work right here that you're looking at, my friend, this work is the reason somebody will pay you, because somebody else out there in the world also wants to get from 0 to 100, but they want to do it without as much work as you did. And that's why you get paid. In the simplest version possible, that's a speed run for you to understand that the work you do now to go from 0 to 100, to go from 0 to 10K a month, to go from skinny to jacked, to go from depressed to happy, whatever it is, the work that you go through to solve your own problems is the same work people will pay you money for, because they want to avoid having to solve those problems on their own. Again, look at the offer training I posted. I'll link it right here. I talk about compressing time. That is the purpose of your offer. It's to compress the time that it takes for somebody to get to where you used to be to where you are now. You compress the time for them, that's why they're going to pay you. And so, in summary here in this video, you have to use your story, the things that you've gone through, in order to sell your thing. And you could do it on a one-to-one level by simply implementing it into your sales call process. But if you want to use leverage, you want to use it on a one-to-infinite scale, which is making YouTube videos in a how I format, sharing how you've done the things that you've done. And if you do this correctly, you do 2 videos a week, and you put the pure intention of simply solving problems for people, and then maybe one day you get somebody on a call that says, hey, you help me make money, you help me get jacked, or whatever it is for completely free, I want to pay you, dude. I want to work with you. I want to get there faster. And once that day comes, you'll be able to also run a tiny solo consulting business that makes $12K in 2 weeks at a 95% profit in 4 hours a day. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, let me know down below. And if you want my one-on-one help, you could always book in a call, because I know I can help you scale, because I solve those problems for myself. And so that's pretty much it. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.